Black mail-order bride was rejected for her color until everything changed when a millionaire farmer saw her as his perfect match. "You're Amara Wilson." The man swallowed hard, his face turning pale as if he had seen a ghost. "This isn't going to work. You didn't mention that you were black." Amara finished the sentence he couldn't bring himself to say, her heart sinking as she stood on the station platform. 3 weeks of travel, 6 months of passionate letters, a trunk full of hopes all crumbled in seconds. "In your letters you wrote so well. I imagined," he stammered, flowers wilting in his sweaty hand. "Couldn't you have warned me?" Amara's voice was steady. "Tell you what exactly? That my skin is dark but my feelings are real?" "You never asked." Harold looked nervously at the curious glances around. "I can pay for your ticket back. You seem educated." "I'm sure you'll understand." A deep voice cut through. "Is that your solution, Pierce? Throw money at the problem?" A tall, commanding man appeared. Alexander Maxwell, wealthy and outdoorsy, but exuding authority. "I offer you lodging at my home until you decide what to do," he said to Amara. Harold gasped. "What will people say?" Alexander smiled coldly. "The same people who depend on my land." "I'm curious to hear what they would say." Harold paled. Alexander Maxwell wasn't just a farmer. He owned half the productive land in the region. Amara's trunk held not only clothes but a secret, an inheritance and ancient documents that could change Riverbrook forever. The Maxwell estate was a Victorian mansion surrounded by thriving plantations. The housekeeper, Mrs. Foster, led Amara to the best guest room. At dinner, Alexander explained his background. A banker's son turned abolitionist, wealthy but principled. "And your story, Miss Wilson?" he asked. "I'm a teacher from Boston. When my school closed, I needed to start over elsewhere." What he didn't know was that Amara had inherited documents proving her great-grandfather, Joseph Freeman, had been the rightful owner of much of Riverbrook land taken illegally by the founding families. Over the following days, she immersed herself in the Maxwell Library, studying local history and law. Meanwhile, the town buzzed with rumors of her presence. Harold Pierce finally arrived. "I just came to see if Miss Wilson is comfortable." Amara entered confidently, no longer humiliated. "Mr. Pierce, it's improper for an unmarried woman to stay with an unmarried man, especially when she's black," Harold said. Alexander's voice was soft but firm. "Go on, Pierce. Finish that sentence." Harold faltered. "The church committee is considering helping her return to Boston." "I have plans to stay," Amara said. "Mr. Maxwell has offered me a job as librarian." Harold's protests failed. The Maxwell Library contained not only books but land records and documents crucial to Riverbrook's history. 2 weeks later, at Town Hall, Harold raged about a woman living at Maxwell's estate. Alexander entered with Amara, who walked with dignity. "She's here not as my guest, but as the legal representative of a matter that concerns you all," Alexander announced. Amara revealed the documents proving her great-grandfather Joseph Freeman's rightful ownership of 60% of Riverbrook, including Pierce's store. The crowd gasped. Harold protested, but Amara calmly presented the evidence. She proposed creating a community foundation benefiting all citizens, emphasizing restoration, not revenge. The documents were verified and Harold left defeated. 6 months later, the Freeman Foundation funded scholarships and community projects. Harold's store became Riverbrook's first public library. Amara's leadership and wisdom transformed the town. Alexander said softly, "You could have demanded everything. I chose restoration over revenge." Amara replied, "Watching children play where once only the elite roamed." A monument commemorated Joseph Freeman, and Amara and Alexander looked forward to a future where character, not color, determined belonging. The lesson was clear. Judging someone by superficial traits blinds us to extraordinary value. Amara Wilson Maxwell had turned rejection into dignity, prejudice into justice, and humiliation into lasting transformation. If this story of overcoming prejudice and achieving justice touched your heart, subscribe for more inspiring stories that show how strength, truth, and courage can transform entire communities.